Hi everyone, my name is John from the Adventure Service. Today we're going to be looking at simple tools we use to make fires when we're out and about. This is my personal fire kit, and I know most of the other instructors have one pretty similar. First thing is always a nice waterproof case. A lot of the methods inside here, if they get wet, won't necessarily work as well. Not true for all of them, but we just want to make sure that when we come to use this equipment, everything's in its correct working order. So a waterproof case to start with. Let's have a look inside. We got char cloth. So char cloth we couple up with the flint and the striker, which is here. I know many of our students are still mastering this at the minute. It's quite difficult, to be fair, but once you get the hang of it, it gets a lot easier. So basically we're using the sharp end of a flint, and we are knocking hot sparks off of the carbon steel onto the char cloth. The char cloth will catch, and that's how we get our ember. There is another way as well. This is a more ancient way. This is iron pyrites, something our ancestors would have used a lot back in the old days. And again, they could use, I mean, they wouldn't have had carbon steel, but they would have definitely have had flint, and again, a sharp edge on this rock, which has, I don't know if you can see, it's very glittery, it has a very high iron content, and again, a sharp edge will give you the sparks. Now, it's not the easiest method, it's not the best method, but it is a method and it's good to learn, and that's why we have it. What's next? The good old lighter. So instant gratification lighting. Now, what I mean by that is that you light it, you get your flame instantly. You can pretty much light anything with that if you've got the materials prepared beforehand. And even if the gas has run out, you can use this to start a fire just with the materials that are on this here and a knife. But that's for another day. These are the cotton pads. You basically tear them open, and that'll take a spark from pretty much anything, and will almost immediately set on fire. This is one of the earliest and easiest methods that we teach our adventurers when they come to the Adventure Service, just because it's such a straightforward method. But I always have them in my fire kit simply because it's easy. I've got a couple of them there. So what's next? Windproof matches. So there's a whole host of them here. Windproof safety matches. Are they effective? They work if you know how to light a match and keep a match going. They're easier than your normal average matches. I think these are from an old military ration pack. But I keep these anyway just in case, and they're sealed again in a waterproof bag. And they don't come out of there unless I really needed to use them. Let's see what else is here. So this is a shard off a redwood tree. And what we do with this, let me just get my striker here, because if you can see, it's really fibrous. Let's move some of this out of the way. It's really fibrous. So what we do is we get a nice 90-degree angle like I have on this striker. You could use a knife if you wanted to, and you just scratch it. You can see already, look, it's giving you that fuzz. And that will take a spark off a ferrocerium rod and get you up and running with a fire in no time. You see? It's good stuff. What's next? It's good to find things. If you're out and about, it's excellent to find things like these. And don't take a lot, just take what you need. If you see a tree that's shedding a bit, and just pop it in your fire kit and it's there for another day. What have we got here? So I found with a recent storm, we had a pine tree that had fallen down, or had been cut down because it was half fallen down, and there was so much sap that I basically cut these twigs and I rolled them in the sap, and then let them sort of dry, and it got glassy like this. And again, similar to with the redwood, you just scratch bits off, and then you can get it lit, and this will burn. You won't believe how long this burns for. This is a great method for like a prolonged, sustained fire whilst you're getting all your other bits on top, with very little sort of chance of it going out unless you're in sort of strong winds. I have 2 of them in there. And they're good. They're fun to make as well. We make these with the students. And lastly, I've got some jute twine. Again, just another fibrous, a fibrous material that can take a spark or a small flame very well. And again, it's multi-purpose. You can do a lot with a bit of twine, a bit of cordage in your kit, so that stays in there as well. And last but not least, it doesn't fit in, but I have this very old, but trusty old ferrocerium rod. So the ferrocerium rod is my go-to of all the lighting. Although this is the easiest, I like to use the ferro rod because it just gives you a lot of options. It's completely workable even when it's wet, and you can see it's heavily used. I give this to the students sometimes, they love it. Get some of that paint off. Talking 1,000-degree sparks there, or more, and you can tell it's hot because the sparks are white. Where I was talking about here, the sparks that come off this are red, and that's because they're not as hot. Have you ever heard of white hot? And that's where it comes from. So let's just see if we can get just something very quick going. Let's pop these on down here. With these feather sticks that I made earlier. Pop that down there. And this is excellent. If we do this in the dark, you'll see all the sparks. I might upload another video, just a quick one, just to show you how this works. But it really is. I mean, for the sake of a lump of rock, and you've got a fire lighting method just there, you can see why we did so well. So here's our feather stick. These can take a spark off a ferro rod if you get the shavings thin enough, small enough, with enough surface area. These ones are quite thick. So I'm just going to demonstrate how easy our cotton wool method is here. Pop that on there. Just a quick pop. It's on fire. Put this over the top. And there we go. Now at this point, obviously, you'd be putting your the rest of your kindling on, and then start with your smaller sticks. But essentially, there you go, fire. So thank you for joining us. There'll be a lot more videos coming out. This is the first one. I've got a lot of ideas, a lot of cool stuff to show you. So thanks for tuning in. Take care.